Here we go. Welcome back to paint all the things brought to you from the pocket dimension right here in the wonderful snowy Midwest. Hope everybody's doing well this evening. Um, so I'm still having trouble getting Social Stream Ninja uh, to work for me. It's frustrating. I've had it working flawlessly a grand total of one time. So bear with me as I bring out the pop-ins. And so, hey Otto, nice and cold and rainy outside. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's been pretty miserable today. I had a long day yesterday and a short day today, so it worked out all right. So we got here. Here's the YouTube over here. Yes. Yeah, it can be a great day. It can be. Alright, let's see here now. Alright, so now I've got all my pop outs obscuring everything in the backstage here with my OBS because I just can't figure out how to get the Social Stream Ninja to work right. And it is what it is. I'm not going to fuss with it. Not really going to worry about it right now. I've got bigger fish to fry getting this Warband done. So let me get some water here for the old, because I'm going to work on the metallics tonight, I think. That's about all we've got left to do on these guys. He says. All right, so okay. All right. So set that over here. So I think next Tuesday will be my last stream of the year. For those of you who are keeping score. So it's time to go into break time. So we'll be doing that. Might gotta do some work around the house here. With the holidays coming up, it's an extended weekend there, you know, so Christmas, New Year's, so that'll be get some things done around my place here. So that'll be good. Get caught up on some things. Might run a couple of new electrical circuits. It's because I'm crazy like that. Why would I want to do what I do at work at home, right? Well, anyhow. So, let's see. Pumpkin's out there. He wants in. But no, we're not going to let him in right now. Don't need to. Let's see. Okay. So. Alright. So I'm painting up these gnolls. Hyena dudes. So I've got 3 archers. 3 archers. And I got 3 axemen. Just like that. And 2 brutes, and the leader. So get these guys finished up, get them off my desk, and move on to the next thing. So all right, chainmail silver. We'll go with that. And I'm doing what I call table slop, which is block it in, wash it, go back, maybe a highlight, but I'm not getting too extreme with what I'm doing here on these. So just kind of getting them on, doing enough to get them on the table, something to look at while you play. Nothing too fancy. As I understand it, the Lord of the Rings movies are being re-released in January. My cousin texted me and said, "Hey, you want to go to one of them?" So it's 2 weekends in a row, and evidently it's over 3 nights. So might see fellowship with him and his wife. So that'll be fun. We'll go back and touch up this shield color. This one's blue. Go back and touch this up in a little bit. They are actually the extended special editions. They are. 25th anniversary. But they are extended special editions. That's what they're putting in the theater. Now, part of me says that this should be bone, but I don't mind making it metallic. I'm messing that up. I'm messing that up way too much. Anyhow, I don't worry too much. Don't worry too much about it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it later. But for the most part, get the main bits, get the main colors done so you can get them on the table. I call this table slop. Some people like the slap chop style of painting. This is my tabletop quality level type stuff. Of course, I've been trying to raise some money here on the channel for the 988 Suicide and Crisis Prevention Lifeline. So if you can see your way, those of you who are watching, if you haven't donated yet, why don't you hit that purple button down at the lower right hand of the screen that says donate to charity and drop in $1 or $2. The goal is $250 as the amount, and so far we've reached $121, so we're almost halfway there. It has only been 3 months to get there, so. But if you're watching on PC, it's right there in the lower right hand corner. If you're watching on mobile, I don't know where it is. The mobile app is a whole different ball of wax. I am just being sloppy with these. I'm not getting too crazy about the detail. In fact, some detail I tried to do the studs on his leather kilt there, and they're not. This brush is just not going to work for me for doing that kind of detail, so I'm not going to worry about it right now. I'm just going to do what little I can do the bare minimum. Mostly just trying to get the metal bits done. I think that's really the major parts that are left on these figures is the metal bits. So I'm not going to get too excited about it. It's not my usual level of care, but I think it's okay to be sloppy every now and then. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the extended versions in the theater. I hope they have a intermission because that's a long movie to sit all the way through. I will probably not drink much nor eat popcorn. Popcorn can clear you out, dry you out. Salt on there, and corn in general. Not that I really need to be concerned with not missing a single beat, but it'd be the first time I've seen those movies in their entirety for a while. Not had I have not had the occasion to watch them at home for a bit. I used to watch them once a year, usually over Christmas vacation. But what with moving and everything over the years and having things discombobulated, I've just not gotten back around to setting things up for the movie going at home experience, you know. All right, so there's swords and boards done or whatever. And so now I'm going to do the armor here. Working from the inside out. Talk about spending a day watching the entire trilogy. You never had the time, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah. That's the way I usually do it. That's the way I usually do it. But I'll tell you, one thing or another, you know. Adult life sucks sometimes, you know. You want to do things with your friends and you just don't get around to it sometimes. Or you're just too pooped from making a living, you know. You got to kind of plan these things months in advance at times. Man, this is an awful brush. It is absolutely it has absolutely failed me. This was one of the cheap ones I got from Hobby Lobby some years ago, and it's not as it's not as robust as its sibling was. It's failed me after a couple of months here. It's hooked out on me, and it won't keep a good sharp tip. It is a synthetic. I did confirm that. So synthetics are great for metallic paints, but for whatever reason, this is just not holding up for me. So this is kind of crazy here. The plastic these are made out of is not the most high quality plastic, so it tends to have some issues and irregularities. But it'll be all right. once we get a black wash on it, it'll look a lot better. This is not a good brush. This is just absolutely, see how it's curled over, but I've had other brushes that curl over, but they maintain a sharp tip. This one is curling over and flopping, and it's kind of splaying out both sides, so it's not as good as the one I had before, which was the same brand, made the same way, same factory, same batch probably. But so looks like things are gearing up for convention season. Just had a show ask me to run a paint and take, so I had to look at the dates and make sure I didn't have any conflicts. So I'll be doing that in April, towards the end of April, up by Gallipolis. And of course, Adepticon is at the end of March in Milwaukee. But aside from just local conventions, like I think GobbleCon in March, HerdCon in March, HerdCon and GobbleCon, I think are about it as far as the springtime goes. And then I think I'm going to sit out Origins and Gen Con this year. Ouch. Then there's going to be Hurricane over Hurricane in September. Let's see. Well, that might not be the colors I want to go with there. But we'll set that aside and let those dry up. So and then in about another half hour, we're going to raid out. It's going to be a short. It's going to be a short one tonight, I think, folks. We're going to raid out and go check out Wargamer Girl's stream. Her and her husband and their friend Flo have a bi-weekly stream at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I believe they multi-stream as well, so I think they're right here on Twitch. But they're also on YouTube and Rumble, I think. So since we're here on Twitch, we'll just raid out to them at the time. I'm just doing table slop. It's not even really tabletop quality, it's table slop. It's bare minimum. It's a level underneath what I consider tabletop quality, or at least my level of tabletop quality. Mostly just to get it done. I've had these going since November, or November, and painting on stream tends to go a little bit slower than painting in real life. And I don't get a chance to paint when I'm not on my stream. It's I started the stream to kind of help me work through my paint work stuff, and well, it's doing that, but it's just very slow. And I had intended to continue doing like hobby on the weekend and this and such, but I just don't have the time outside of the few hours that I stream each week. 2 to 6 hours that I stream each week, so. Hey, Heretic Scott. Yeah, it is definitely some knee deep batch painting, but at least it's a small. It is a small amount. I mean, it's table slop. Everybody's got to have a cool, hip, trendy name for the way they do things, right? So I'm gonna call this table slop, which is not really being so concerned with all the details or nice highlights and blending. It's just kind of a do the bare minimum, block it in, not even and wash it, and not even maybe even re-highlight it, but basically just not worry about the details. Just do the big blocks of color, and if you get paint out of the lines, if you're painting out of the lines, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just paint it and move on. Table slop. To get it on the table, we're just gonna table slop it. But yeah, it has been some definitely been some batch painting going on here. But it has not been very fast. Not as fast as I was hoping. How's your your studio project is coming along nicely? Oh, well, I'll have to fix that later. These paint jobs, I think, would be right at home, right next to the blind booster figures that WizKids turned out a few years ago, a couple years ago, this year. I don't know. They've got the blind booster figures that are pre-paints that are just real sloppy and awful looking. So I guess these would fit in pretty well with the sweatshop factory style paint jobs. Full force, yeah, right. Well, I've been watching you on the Instagram with that, so that's pretty good work you're doing there. Not bad for a DIYer. Nice dad joke. Really went over my whippersnapper head. Yeah, yeah. I was wondering if you caught that or not. The way you responded, I'm like, yeah, he got that. He got that. Does it hold a hen weigh? What's a hen weigh? Oh, about 2 kilos. All right. All right. All right. Here we go. Chainmail on these guys. No, I'm not really dry brushing. I'm damp brushing. And yeah, I'm using the same nasty old brush that I've been using because I'm not really that worried about it. I think this is its last session for much of anything. It'll probably be a good undercoat brush, but I think I'm done using this brush for any kind of finish work. All right. Oop. Shoulder pad and wrist brace. Now, generally, I would like to use like a steel color before I lay down any silver, but I'm just going with Vallejo's chainmail silver here. There's a little bit of a bluish quality to it, which is a nice contrast to the red of this guy's kilt. For lack of better explanation. Now it looks like that the original metal that they based this on, the metal figure that they based this on, that might have been these might have been inlaid. So maybe those are like little tusks or something that they jammed into their armor as opposed to formed metal. But again, I can always paint right over it. It's no big deal. No big deal. So we'll pick up the metal part of this chainmail down here. And right there. A little bit there. Come on now. So anyhow, just painting away here, batch painting, and I'm not really getting too worried about getting paint on things that I've already painted. Any that would be there would not be much. So these are all the same figure, but the hand is what is left unattached. So I changed the position on the hand for each one, which it gives enough variety that it changes the shape of the silhouette. So it does enough to give some variety between each of those figures. You can do the same thing with Citadel's Chaos Warriors. At least the old ones. I don't know how the new kits are, but the old kits basically had a socket for the left hand and a socket for the right hand, and depending on the weapon you added, would kind of determine what they were armed with. But if you change the position, they kind of give the figure a little bit more character. I think Goobertown Hobbies did a little video on that, so check that out. It's been a while back, a couple of years ago. He and Casey have been so busy with their stamps, their stamping kits, and Goblin Hobbies there, that their usual output of content has kind of slipped by. But yeah, the Goop Brent did a video on changing positions on your figures and how it can make even the same figure, a unit of the same figure, kind of gives a little more character and a little more interest just by changing the head position or hand position. Because if you're looking at a group of figures, you're not looking at each individual one. So if you have that variation in there between the figures, it's going to look a lot more visually interesting than otherwise. Alright, I think that's all the metal bits on these guys, mostly. This guy's got some metal bits, it looks like, too, but I'm not sure. He's got, like a chest plate or something underneath his robes here. But I don't know. There's more to do on these guys. I'm not going to finish them tonight. But I think after tonight I will not be working on them anymore. I think I'll swap over to the next project, which is we're going to go down to Goblin Town. So it's going to be a group of 12 of these guys. So 4 goblins with spears, 4 goblins with clubs, and 4 goblins with bows. So again, little war bands for skirmish gaming. Nothing nothing too extreme. Not really big armies, but I kind of got into putting things on bases one night, and I got these guys on bases. So I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna have to do them up. And then of course I've got giant spiders. So to finish up. So I got 3 of these guys painted up. This guy is pretty well complete. These 2 need eye color. And I got another 2 of those. And then, I got 3 of them here. So that's 6 spiders all-together. And then I got the arachnid warriors here. Drow, driders, whatever you want to call them. So I got 3 of those guys. So you could have each of these guys here, you know, kind of leading a couple of the regular spiders. So I mean, there's just all sorts of neat little ways you can organize your war bands. And then I've got some rat swarms that I put on bases. I just got in a weird let me put things on bases sort of a way the other night. I couldn't sleep, so I came in here and just threw some stuff on bases. So the next thing to do those, I think I'm going to add in some green stuff around these gaps, some putty, and sculpt out the bases to take this cobblestone city sewer sort of a look. Run that out all the way to the edges with some putty. Same thing with these bases. It has that kind of a cobblestone floor look to it. So I think if I take some green stuff and go around the edge of this and sculpt in, carry on that particular pattern, that'll be pretty good. And then I got some bat swarms here. So I got 3 bat swarms. Put those on bases and actually base them up. I mean, there's more to do on those bases really, but put the sand on the bases. So I thought a bat swarm would be pretty neat. Fly that around the battlefield, especially for something like, say, if I did a little battle of 5 armies kind of a thing. If I did that kind of a game, that'd be pretty cool. Because there were bats as well as giant eagles. So, alright. So I'm going to set these aside for a little while. I'm kind of getting tired of working on these gnolls. Kind of getting tired. Haven't really had a lot of attention paid to the channel lately. A couple of people keep on showing up. Some regulars. And I am grateful for them to be here. But it seems like people aren't watching as much lately, or maybe the notifications aren't going out, or content's boring. I don't know. I'm trying to do some more videos as well, so like produced videos. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Let me switch over here. I'm gonna go to my regular colored water and probably start priming some other stuff up here. Let's see, what do we got here? Desert tan. Desert tan, that's a good one. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna take some desert tan and prime up these owlbears. Little noise warning. I'm gonna put the primer on my shaker real quick. So So let's get a little bit of this primer out on the palette here, and we'll prime up these owlbears, because why not? Have you hugged an owlbear today? Just want to do something different for a minute. We don't have a lot of time. Before we go over and raid Wargamer Girl's stream here in a minute. About a half hour here. So we'll do that. I believe these were sculpted by Trey Manor, owner of Redbox Games, who years ago turned out some really neat looking dwarves. I think he did some work with Avatars of War. Redbox Games. He turned out some really neat stuff back in the day. Back before alternative figures for the Warhammer stuff got really popular. Especially the aesthetic. So, and Trey also sculpted the Gnolls that I've been working on. Which are all available from Reaper. Reaper Miniatures. I talked to him. I asked him why he did this stuff in such a weird, like, outsized scale when he did it. I said, "Hey, this stuff from this period, it's almost like you used World of Warcraft as a big influence." And he said, "Yeah, I did actually." I was like, "Okay, that's interesting." Evidently Reaper said, "Yeah, just go crazy, do your thing," and so he did. So he was using World of Warcraft as an inspiration for as kind of the big hands, big feet, exaggerated heroic size, overly heroic size. So these Gnolls are considerably larger than really what they should be. They should be more human sized, but as you can see, they're quite large. Let's contrast that with the size of a Bob Ollie orc. So here's an orc by Bob Ollie, and here's a Gnoll by Trey Manor. Now Bob was going for more of a realistic sort of a size, more in line with the correct scale there, the 28 millimeter scale, and Trey was just going kind of crazy there. So streams in general, I noticed, have less audience. It's across the board from what I've seen, probably due to the festive period. Yeah, there's a lot to that. I did take a big break this summer too. My air conditioning went out, so the hobby room was unbearably hot. So I didn't stream for like 2 months almost. And if Auto Rush is still watching, he could tell you about how crazy things were just to get an air conditioner. It was an epic struggle to get an air conditioner this summer. But I got one. Actually, I got two for upstairs. Which took the edge off towards the end of the summer period, but I just didn't have any kind of motivation to paint because I wasn't sleeping well. It was too hot. Flopping on the couch in front of the fan was about the best I could do. And around here where I live, you don't dare fall asleep with the windows open. Really, I mean, you just don't. I could have had decent breezes flying across the house. I mean, I did leave the screen door. I did open the inner door when I was home, like on a weekend. I would open it up, but that's only so good because at night, when you want the cool air at night's when all the bad things happen. Heretic says, "I don't blame you. You can keep your heat too. I like my air conditioned country at the moment." Yes. Well, and I keep like in the wintertime here. It's wintertime here in the states. Um, like I keep my place about 68. I keep the thermostat set at 68 Fahrenheit, which I'm not sure what that is exactly in Celsius. Um, it's probably like 10 degrees Celsius or something. Um, but but if I'm cold, I just put on a hat or a extra sweatshirt or something, in the wintertime, and it does all right. Keeps the heating bill down. 20 degrees. Okay. Thought air conditioner mini splits that you wedged into your windows were common due to their slide construction, unlike the wedge style windows we get here. Um, yeah. So I did. I put in a window unit upstairs. Actually, I've got two window units, but I only put one in so far. A mini split is the way to go. I mean, it is a way to go. And if I got a big enough mini split, I could probably cool the whole house. Which it's not as good as central air, which is what I had, but I got an older unit, and for them to do anything with it would be ridiculously expensive. I sort of think that those guys were trying to sell me more than I really needed because it's like they didn't notice the big white van that had the electric company that I work for on the side of it, and I felt like they were trying to sell me more than I needed, and I didn't feel like I was getting a straight answer because I get it. They want to make money too. So if they can sell a whole new unit, a whole new package unit instead of just replacing the components that need to be replaced, you know, that was it was kind of like felt like I was getting they were trying to give me the old Shinola. And I'd ask them questions, and they'd have when you ask a question and they have an answer for everything, right? It's like you kind of like, I'm pretty sure you're not really telling me everything that you're not giving me all the options. You're giving me the options that are the best thing for you and your company. Which I mean, I understand you got to make money, but there are some maintenance and service outfits that I don't know. It's not that they don't do good work when they do their work. It's just I wouldn't be calling their office to brag on them. Which the funny thing is I've actually had customers call into my office and brag about my work. It's a little, it's weird. It's kind of humbling. It's very humbling actually, because you're just doing a job, just like anybody else. You're giving people the best you can. And I usually try to, if there's a real issue, if there's an issue with something, I try to explain. I try to keep the customer involved in the decision making process, and I try to explain to them, what the issues are and why certain things need to be done a certain way. They seem to appreciate it. So now I have a feeling that when this was a metal figure, because there's a metal version of this available as well. I have a feeling that these arms were probably separate pieces that you could glue on, because some of these angles will be very difficult to paint. Heretic says he runs his at 62 Fahrenheit because he himself runs like a boiler. There you go. Some people are just more warm natured than others, I guess. Or they perceive heat and cold differently. Getting up and moving when it's cold is the toughest for me. After I get up and get around, I'm okay, but boy, oh boy, I sure would like to stand under the covers until it gets about 68, 60, 68, 70 degrees outside. Now I understand why my folks moved to Florida. Pudding, thick pudding that runs through my veins. And so my next question is, no, I have not ever tried black pudding. I don't know that I particularly want to. Knowing what it's made out of just kind of grosses me out. No offense. No offense, but it's one of those things that knowing what it's made out of is not appetizing. Honestly delicious. Well, I'll let you I will let you keep your honestly delicious black pudding. I will refrain from that myself. There are some things that are just not on my list of things I want to eat. For instance, when I was a kid, my mom picked up cow tongue at the grocery store, and she prepared it. But the thing is I saw it in the refrigerator before it was cooked, and I saw all the little hairs and all the taste bud bumps and everything, and I refused to eat that. I saw it. I was like, nope, I am not eating that. It was the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen in my life. Well, I get that. I get that as a concept. Heretic Scott, I get that. But it's a main component. It's not like an afterthought. That's the thing. It's a main component. Like a steak it might have a little left in there. I mean, it's impossible to get it out all 100%. And then you're going to have globulin that is in there, kind of that pinkish sort of watery stuff, but it is considering it's a main component of that particular delicacy, it's a real turnoff. Take oatmeal, onion seasoning, and run off from a roast beef. It's more or less okay. Possible to get a non-bloody steak, however, it shouldn't be legal. Well, I mean, it's the steaks you get at the grocery store around here, or correctly handled beef. They're they're not really. They really are. They're well bled, so you don't really get anything in there. You can. It's all in the way they handle the beef, you know. So it's that stuff is all pretty well. You're never going to run into a bloody steak here in the States. So I guess we're probably barbarians, you know. Gonna have some at, at the earliest convenience. You say, "Well, I will leave you to that." I will leave you to that. And you can wash it down with your favorite beverage. So I wonder if I can get all three of these brush primed up before it's time to raid out here. Like I said, it's just gonna be a shorter stream tonight. We're gonna raid out at 8:30, and we're gonna go visit Wargamer Girl, who interviewed me on her YouTube channel back in the springtime after Adepticon. What's really funny is the episode before was one of the she interviewed Phil, the glacial geek, who is part of the army painter factory team. And my episode actually has more views than his episode, and he's got more hobby uh, clout than I do. Clout. I mean, he's a much more well known figure than me. It was kind of funny. It's not a. I mean, it's obviously not a competition, but it's funny how a big name gets 400 some odd views, and a nobody like me gets 500 views, 500 some odd views, nearly 600. What is your favorite beverage? You're not sure yourself. I don't drink alcohol. Usually something fizzy and zero sugar. Yeah. Do they have do they have a diet iron brew? That's what I wonder. Of course, you're out of that part of the world now. You've moved, as I understand it. So maybe you can't get iron brew where you are. You know what's really interesting is the we have about a 2 hour drive from where I am, and it would be less if it was a straighter road. But you got to go through the back roads to get to the main road, and that's what takes up a lot of the time. There's a grocery store called Jungle Gyms, and it's an international grocery store, and so it has foods from all over the place. Um, and they have a lot of soda pop from all around the world, specifically a lot of Mexican soda pop. Flavors that you'll never see soda pop here in the States. They got like a pineapple flavored soda pop. They've got a couple other different things. Mango flavored soda pop. That's a fizzy. That's a fizzy drink. That's what we. That's like when I say soda pop, I mean like Coca Cola or Sprite. You know, Mountain Dew, that kind of thing. Carbonated sweet drinks. We call it. Some places call all soda pops Coke. Like if you lived in Georgia, America, Georgia. Um, even if it's not a Coke, they say, "What kind of Coke do you want?" Well, they're not asking you, "Do you want Diet Coke or regular Coke?" They're asking you what kind of soda pop you want. They just call it Coke everywhere. There. Um, some parts of the country call it pop. Some call it soda. If you grew up where we did, we tend to combine the two and we call it soda pop, which I think is probably the more popular across the board. If you remember a company called Soda Pop Miniatures, that's where they got the word soda pop. Let's see. They do. I did indeed, but luckily Iron Brew has followed me here. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. The blue and orange can can't go wrong, right? 6 more minutes. I don't think I'm gonna make the third. I don't think I'm gonna get the third owlbear out of this brood right now. So that's fine. That's okay. We're gonna just double check and make sure we got all of the critter covered up here. Looks like we haven't missed a spot. Good. And this is good. But no, what I was saying is maybe I'm gonna have to next time I go to Jungle Gyms, I'm gonna have to see if they carry Iron Brew, because they've got a lot of they're an international grocery store, so they've got a lot of things there that you'll never see other places unless you went to like a specialty grocery store in a city somewhere, like if you went to, say, Zabar's in New York City or certain ethnic neighborhoods. You can find those specialties there. All right. Well, I think we're going to cut short and we're going to go check in over and make sure, see if we can get to Miranda's stream. That's Wargamer Girl over on YouTube. But she also multi-streams out to the other platforms as well. So let's go ahead and we're going to say goodnight to YouTube. And we're going to say goodnight to Rumble. Always remember, folks, no matter how bad today might have been, the world is a better place with you in it. The sun is coming up tomorrow, and the world is a better place with you in it. So, good night to Rumble, and good night to